Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It is Thursday, August 18th. 18th. Tomorrow's the 19th. That's what it was. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto Live. I'm so happy to be here with all of you guys. I got a different little setup going on this morning. Usually I have my iPad over here. Got my drink over here, but I decided to switch them because I got a really cool looking mug right here. Can I even see that? From that far?
Woo! Yeah, I can see it.
That's really little, though. Yeah.
Neat.
You know, on Coffee and Crypto, we like to start the show off with a little bit of coffee. We're going to jump into crypto here in just a second. Got some big stories going on. The title, as you can see, we're going to be discussing what that Fed announcement we saw yesterday, that guidance that they issued, really means for the Bitcoin price, because the Bitcoin price really hasn't figured it out yet. So I'm sure that most of you guys are wondering, what do we actually do with that information? We're going to talk about all of that today. Harry, CryptoVet, is joining the show. He's not hairy, although maybe he is. No, actually, he's not. He's not that hairy, actually. He's got a little bit of beard. But his name is Harry. That's
all right.
Hey, Smay, you need to let me just finish this up. He joined the show. We're talking about there's some drama going on between Ripple and Vitalik Buterin. That's going to be really interesting. We're discussing all of that and more. But I'm going to go ahead and pass it on. It's not my turn to drink coffee now. Do you have any coffee over there, Tshroom? Or is there one drop of coffee in there?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you got a little bit?
Right here. A little bit of coffee.
Well, that's
coffee is mostly water.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that is kind of coffee ingredients at the most.
So it's mostly true.
It's 50% of coffee.
Yeah.
It's more like
mostly
75%.
It's mostly coffee, but some of it's okay. I'm doing great. I'm too blessed to be stressed, and I'm doing better than I deserve. So all of the above. That's what's going on over here on this side of the studio.
How about you, Smay?
Well, gee whiz.
I don't know about too blessed to be stressed for.
Gee whiz. Speaking of too blessed to be stressed, I'm too stressed to be blessed. I'm kidding. I'm definitely evenly both. I mean, I think it's 50-50. I'm definitely 50% stressed, 50% blessed. So it averages out. I think it's good. I think they cancel each other out. I feel feel generally all right. But
you look like you're in an oven over there.
I do. I am. It is toasty in this studio here. But speaking of ovens, what I would like to do is cook up a good little shout out for these green names. So what I'm gonna do here is read some green names. Here we have Kevin Grimm's Travel Tim. Oh, that's our portable Tim.
Yeah.
Our travel Tim. We got Elliot Locke, we got Agent Gold, we got Sultan of Salt, we got Wind Peoples, we got Mike Lowry, we got Grand Roofing Incorporated, Mike Markle, Matt C, the Goats, our moderator team. We love those mods. Who else we got here? We got Queen, we got a Mellow Fellow. I'm sure he's a rambunctious folk. Then we got Martine Siebels, we got Colin McDonald, we got Freedom Advocate. I love anybody who advocates for freedom. We got JoJo. We got, let's see, Michael Payne, Crypto JMP. So many great green names here. I love all of you guys. Anyways, back to you, Tim.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a fun day. I'm a little sore. Zach, definitely not Hi Zach, our editor and backup technical director and one of our creative guys. Him and I worked out last night, did some deadlifts. Great lifting session. I'm feeling it this morning.
Oof.
So that coffee is adding a little pump that I needed because I didn't want to get out of bed this morning, and then I did it anyway. So it's going to be fun.
You got to get up.
We're about to jump into market pools, talk about all the stories that are relevant, but before we get there, we do have another word from Smay, because this show would not be possible without, first of all of you guys, and those green names that he just read are members, but it also would not be possible without some of the partners of this channel. Smay, who's our partner for today?
Well, guys, I have to be honest with you. I do love Bitcoin Price, but you know what I love more than Bitcoin Price? I love Anthony Price, our go-to crypto CPA. I'm telling you guys, this guy is primed and ready to help you save money on those pesky taxes that the IRS keeps coming trying to beat you with a stick to get. So, guys, honestly, I'm telling you, if you're talking about tax planning, you're talking about just trying to get the most out of your investments, definitely, link below, sign up for a free 15 to 20 minute consultation with our guy, Anthony Price. And he won't even take you as a client unless he knows he can save you some money, some big money. He's saved some clients a lot of money. So, guys, if you want to save some money on taxes, definitely check out that link below. It literally costs you nothing, and you're guaranteed to win. So, go check it out. Back to you, Tim.
Boom. Well, we're about to jump into our market pulse with Tshroom, but before we do that, real quick, go ahead and smash that like button if you love coffee and if you love crypto. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe for that because we have both of those here, coffee and crypto. I want to jump onto my screen real quick. We're not going to do, Harry might do some TA here in a little bit, but I want to show you guys real quick what's happening on the charts, and then we're jumping over there towards
Give me one
Tshroom.
second as we
Is it not plugged?
as we settle with technical difficulty there.
Well, it's not showing on my computer that we're plugged in either. So give me a second.
Give me 1 second.
Just
Oh,
taking a
this is
little
great.
second there to make sure that
Plug
everything's
in
plugged
there,
in.
computer.
We could.
Yeah, so why don't you plug that right back in?
There we go.
All right, now you can go to your screen.
All right, there we go. All right, guys, this is Bitcoin. As I said before in the title, we did go down. We have been going down now for a couple of days. This is the 4-hourly chart that I'm looking at, and ever since the 14th, Bitcoin has been going back down. I guess you could say on the 15th more, like we went up above 25,000, came back down. Now, this blue box we talked about yesterday, if you guys are wondering where that is coming from, if you were to pull up the VRVP or VPVR, either way, it's the visual range volume profile. This is the peak that we ended up coming down and bouncing right off the very top of it. The reason I have a box here is because, theoretically speaking, we could dip all the way back down to around 22,800 and yet still have a lot of volume to support us and still be in a secondary uptrend. We talked about this the other day, how yes, we are in a bear market, we are in a primary downtrend. Let me go ahead and take my VRVP down. If I were to go out to the daily chart, you guys are going to see, of course, since November of last year, we have been moving to the downside, but this wave that we're currently in right now is a secondary bull run right now, a bull trend, and it is your trend until it ends. We would need to get below 22,600 for that secondary bull movement to be over. So keep your eyes on that. We did come down and touch that box very nicely, very, very sweetly. Is that over? Are we going to go back up? One reason to think that potentially it won't. This is the last thing that we're throwing at Tshroom. The Dixie is climbing. Oh, look at that, guys. That candle just popped through. When I was doing my prep this morning, we were below that yellow line. That yellow line is a line that we have been wrestling with on the Dixie here for multiple times. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we finally broke through it. This is something to keep your eye on because if the Dixie goes up, more often than not, Bitcoin and your other cryptos go down. Guys, we just broke through a flat level of resistance we've been wrestling with. As I said, we broke bullish out of a descending trading channel. We came back down, tested the resistance of that channel, turning into support. And now what I'm watching for, you guys see that yellow golden box right there? That is our golden pocket that we formed. If we were to go back, nope, come on now. Don't want that. If we were to go back to the high that we had here just a couple of weeks ago and come down to the bottom, Fibonacci retracement tells us that this is the golden pocket and should be the next thing you're looking at for a place that potentially the Dixie could slow down and be rejected. That is the short TA for right now, but let's throw it over to Tshroom and talk about what's happening in the news, not just the charts.
Let's do it. Well, Smay, if you go ahead and just go ahead and hop on over to my screen, then you'll be greeted by the cheery Fear and Greed Index, which is clocking in at 30 this August 18th, 10 a.m. morning. And that is worse than yesterday. Yesterday was 41. Actually, we did 11 points, so that's not great. 11 points towards the less favorable outcome of fear, which is where people tend to sell off. If you guys are unfamiliar with the Fear and Greed Index, fear is where people sell off. Greed is where people buy too much, right? And they get over bloated and they get over leveraged, as we've learned so much about in the crypto lending space. They get overly greedy, and this is a pretty useful index. But basically, what this is telling us is that the bears are feeling a little bit stronger and the bulls are feeling a little bit weaker, and fear is being more dominant in the market than it was yesterday and the week before. But it's about the same as where it was this time last month. Moving on. We're going to be talking about this a whole lot more. We're going to be talking about the Fed and inflation and the minutes that dropped yesterday, kind of breaking those down. But if you look at my screen now, at September 22nd is when the new Fed decision will be happening, right? So they skip August. And right now it's 67% likelihood that they will do a 50 basis point hike. And I'm interested to see throughout the rest of the day and into the weekend if this starts to change, because the minutes, as we will talk about in the discussion, were pretty undeterminate, but maybe leaned toward 75 basis point hike, as they want to be, stalwart, they want to be consistent, they don't want to waver. and going down into anything other than 75 basis points, which is what they've done so far this year, would be signaling, that something has changed, and they want to be a standard. They want to be solid. So we'll be talking about that a lot more, obviously, in the discussion. Moving into our market pulse news, Dapper Labs opens NFL version of NBA Top Shot to the public. Potentially good news for Flow Token. Oh, yeah, here we go. Look at that beautiful picture of, who's that? Pat Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
This is a guy who's actually very impressive to me. He was one of the youngest Super Bowl winning quarterbacks.
It's true.
It's hard to beat. Hard to beat Pat Mahomes. And he's got a great head of hair, too.
He has the historically greatest contract that a football player has ever seen, netting him $500 million guaranteed money over the next 12 years or something like that. It's ridiculous. He's a very good player and a very wealthy man.
And he is, in fact, my homie.
He is my homie.
And I think another thing is, I think his brother is definitely the all-time mascot for sidelines. But
Okay,
anyways,
now let's
keep going.
And he's been endowed with a great head of hair.
Yeah.
But the football version of NBA Top Shot is finally live. You've been waiting for it. Dapper Labs announced today that NFL All Day, the official licensed NFL NFT collectibles platform, has opened its doors to all collectors following a lengthy closed beta testing phase. Like Top Shot, NFL All Day serves up tokenized video highlights as NFT collectibles, which can be bought, sold, traded on Dapper's marketplace. The platform similarly runs on the Flow blockchain, which also powers Dapper's UFC Strike platform and projects from an array of other brands and creators. So really, really cool stuff there. Here's an example of one. This one doesn't seem to be moving, but I'm sure if I click through, I'd see a moving version of it. I don't know if I want to do that, but these are really, really cool, and you should definitely go check them out if you're a big NFL guy. I know that we have one in our midst that is an NFL guy, so I'm sure this won't be the last that we hear. Maybe Tim will get into the whole NFT NFL game now that it's so irresistible for him. Well, moving over to similarly as popular, but much more pessimistic, much more somber headline here. Ukraine has spent the $54 million in crypto on drones and other military expenses. Got a shot of a big tank there with an interesting barrel, potentially.
Is that like a railgun or something?
I don't know. I'm not sure. So very interesting there, though. Unnamed aerial vehicles or drones were the highest cost at $11.8 million. After that, the country spent $6.9 million on armored vests and $5.7 million on computer hardware and software. It's got a breakdown of all their expenses, but this isn't the interesting part. The interesting part is thanks to the crypto community for support since the start of the full-scale invasion, Fedorov tweeted. And over 60 million of the crypto donations have been donated since the Russia began its invasion of Ukraine, according to the organization. So if anybody has ever given to this fund to help support the Ukrainian military and the Ukrainian stronghold there, that you can see a breakdown of how your money's being spent, and it looks like crypto is kind of the way that's getting through there.
And
so,
I think that's great. I think that if anyone saw that article and was like, oh, the crypto's gone. No, I mean that's what it was for. And also, I mean, people need to remember, as much as the headlines have been targeted as being bad headlines, when you see some of these companies liquidating some of their crypto, if they're liquidating because they don't believe it anymore, then yeah, go ahead and say that's a bad article. That's not good for crypto. But when companies liquidate crypto, that actually just proves how valuable crypto can be down the road. It's proving the liquidity of it. Any currency, any cryptocurrency, or any store of value that's not liquidable is not going to have as much value. Part of it, when you're studying economics and you're studying currency, part of the valuation of saying it's valuable is its ability to be liquidated. So that article actually, I think, is one more testament to how powerful crypto can be in the future, being able to fund and raise funds for causes. So good for Ukraine for putting that crypto to good use.
Yeah, I wonder what arms company were willing to sell and take custody of crypto in exchange for their goods. It's pretty interesting, or if there was an intermediary. Moving on, back on my screen, Our boy, venture capitalist Kevin O'Leary says crypto regulations from CFTC and SEC are coming. And here's his timeline. Not much of a timeline here. That was a little bit of a clickbait, but we do have some interesting concepts here. So the venture capitalist, Kevin O'Reilly, believes that the
O'Reilly?
What did I say?
O'Reilly
Is he Irish?
Auto Parts.
Kevin O'Reilly.
O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary, the venture capitalist Kevin O'Leary, believes that investors might consider diving in after the results of the midterm elections are known, and also explains why he is in favor of the government regulating the crypto industry. And this is quoting him. I think you want to be long after November 8th. So that's the timeline aspect of this. He's saying you want to be long after November 8th. Everybody's got to speculate on what to do here, but you've seen the winter at the bottoms, and we're slowly crawling out of the toilet here. I like that analogy. That is kind of how it feels. That's why whenever I talk about crypto now, I'm pro-regulation. Another quote from Kevin O'Leary here. I want the sovereigns backing me up with every bid every night. I want the sovereigns backing me up with a bid every night. O'Leary goes on to speculate the high-powered sovereign wealth funds in the UAE might be waiting for regulatory clarity from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, before moving on crypto, buying crypto, getting into the crypto scene even more than they already are. When you look at the UAE, Abu Dhabi is 90% of the capital, so you have to operate out of there. It's called the ADGM, Abu Dhabi Global Market. They set the policy on crypto. They grant licenses for exchange. So Kevin O'Leary kind of showing that he has some kind of insider, I'm sure this is public knowledge, but he has an insider take that, there seems to be a centralization of this global market there in Abu Dhabi. It's not something I was privy to. But he kind of balances his statement next with, but here's the thing that they won't do. They will not jump hop the SEC. They will not do this and make it a standard for their own sovereign wealth before SEC gets a chance to move. The reason for that is really political in nature. The largest manager of sovereign wealth in the world is BlackRock. That's Larry Fink. He's not going to do this until he gets the go-ahead from the SEC. So Kevin O'Reilly, call him what you want. I call him Kevin O'Leary when I'm.
He goes by many names.
When I remember his actual name, he's kind of making the thesis kind of coming through here, guys. I know that this is a transcription from audio, so it may have been difficult to understand. But essentially, you don't need to be on my screen anymore. But essentially, what he's saying here is that there's a bunch of money locked up in Abu Dhabi sovereign wealth, which is essentially kind of like their pensions. It's kind of like what the government treasury is putting their money in a sense. And it's not just Abu Dhabi. It's a lot of other wealthy nations around the world. They're waiting to get in. And so is BlackRock and Larry Fink's BlackRock. Though they've opened up the trust with Coinbase to give their clients access, I don't believe they've actually opened the floodgates to where their clients can actually get in there yet. They've just set up the infrastructure. And also, I would add this to Kevin O'Leary's analysis, that something we've been waiting on is the Fidelity 401k infrastructure as well. So Fidelity opened up their 401k programs to be able to hold custody of Bitcoin in those 401ks for God knows how many millions of North American clients. All of that money is sitting on the sidelines ready to jump in, and they're waiting on what? Kevin O'Leary is saying they're waiting on the SEC to give the go-ahead. In what form or fashion they're waiting on the SEC, and what exactly they're waiting on the SEC to say, I'm not exactly sure here, other than the fact of maybe Gary Gensler leaving and someone else coming in with a much more positive tone on crypto and maybe making a couple adjustments, maybe relinquishing all regulatory oversight to the CFTC, something along those lines. But basically saying around November 8th is kind of when you want to start to be long that. So maybe the SEC is due to make a decision before November 8th. Obviously he's not making financial advice here, but he's, November 8th is kind of that date where if you're not in the market, you want to probably go ahead and gain some exposure and gain some risk towards the crypto space. So yeah, that's the long and short of it. That's been the Market Pulse. And we're going to be also talking a little bit more about that beef between Vitalik and Ripple's CTO it's really, really interesting, and you're gonna love it. So
Yeah.
Tim, take it away.
Well, you know, by the way, those burps coming out, that coffee water getting to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You're going to have to water that coffee down a little more.
it's a struggle.
So, guys, we're about to jump in with Harry. I think he is ready, right, Smay?
Uh-huh.
Here's Harry. All right, let's go ahead and let's bring Harry on, and we're going to jump into all of this, get his take on what's happening in the market, like we talked about on the charts here just saying. But before he comes on, we got almost 600 people in here, but only 163 likes. We definitely can get that up. Go ahead and smash that like button. Harry, how are you doing this morning? How you feeling?
Man, I am doing absolutely great. Got headphones working. You know, it's a little early for me here in Texas, but absolutely excited to be here. Got some charts ready if you all want to see them. Otherwise, I'm here to talk and answer any questions you got.
Yeah, I'm going to send you that way. So if you got charts you want to show, we're obviously talking about what is Bitcoin price going to do now that we just had some Fed minutes released yesterday. But of course, as Tshroom kind of hinted at in the market pulse, there's a little bit of a mixed bag result with what they were talking about. Certain remarks kind of lead us to believe that potentially we're going to get a 75 basis point hike rate again in September, and potentially even they were kind of issuing that guidance. There's nothing saying we won't see it again in November. But then other parts of what they released was almost saying, well, you know, we'll keep working at the numbers. We don't want to do anything too aggressive and end up hurting the economy. So we might end up being able to go down to 50 basis points. I want to hear what your thoughts are, because I think that's the question on everybody's mind. Now that we had those Fed minutes, what should we be expecting in Bitcoin's price? We are seeing it come down, but what is next when we're looking at those things? And what are you seeing on the charts to give you any indication of what is next?
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. And, you know, everybody's expecting, you know, XYZ. I know when you're on around the blockchain, Ben and Wendy and Rice were all saying, you know, like we all pretty much expect that we're going to see, you know, 75 basis points, right? You know, maybe the Fed will hit a home run, go for a high score, go for a full point, you know, but the overall goal is, what is the Fed trying to do, right? Like, ignore what they're saying to us, you know, because that BS, and I will watch my language this time, you know, they are saying certain things to us, and we may or may not believe that, right? But most people believe it. So what is the real motive? What's the real thing happening in the background? So this is where I would want to think is, okay, if the Fed was really trying to taper down and prevent a recession, their main goal is to make lending and getting money harder, right? That's the whole point of this, increasing the rate hike. But what is that going to do here in the meantime, right? When you, if I can share my screen, I'll show the DXY and kind of move down the whole narrative that you guys were talking about here. With the DXY, for 2 decades, we've been pretty much under this resistance. It's going back all the way to 2001. And right now, this is on the monthly, we can see that the DXY is gaining power. Now, will we get above this resistance that we've never been above and closed above on a macro scale? Maybe not. But overall, this is showing strength in the dollar. If we look at the momentum here, it seems like we could be coming to a top. Well, this would be good for crypto and Bitcoin, right? Well, maybe in the long run, but at first we're going to feel the hit just as much as everything else. And this whole topic came up yesterday in one of our meetings. They asked me if I thought the bottom was in. And I do think the bottom is in, but I don't think the pain is over. And the reason why is exactly what we're seeing now. With, if we're going to try to get employment to stay up, we have to reduce the cost of everyday living, because if we can't afford to eat and we can't afford to go to work, what are we going to be doing with all this excess money? People are going to start losing their jobs. You know, my biggest form of income now that I'm not a veterinarian is real estate. And right now I'm starting to have tenants again not being able to pay. They weren't able to pay for COVID. You know, we did all the relief. They were good for a while. Now everything's expensive as can be. They're having trouble again. So I see a new wave of that coming along. Well, what does this do for crypto? Well, I think this is a top, because when we look at all the signs of crypto influx from the 2018 top to where we are now, we are retesting the top, not only on overall crypto market cap. We're doing testing on Bitcoin dominance, which here is showing that there's actually a strength coming to the alts, whether it's mostly going to be Ethereum, of course, with the merge coming up, and Ethereum holds most of the altcoin dominance, right? It is the leading altcoin at this time. So if the actual narrative for ETH taking over was to take place here, all of this is kind of setting up absolutely perfect with where the government is and the Fed, where the Fed feels with crypto, the new crypto regulation, even all the little disputes between Vitalik and Garlinghouse, right? It's like this whole narrative with crypto is we're about to have a whole new thing happen? Well, I think this is going to be, in a sense, kind of like another little alt season where we will see a drop in Bitcoin dominance, and this will be due to the DXY losing strength. This will be due to our numbers not looking as good, right? Because unemployment might show XYZ now. Well, we then make it harder to borrow money, but eventually, if they see those numbers going down, what's going to happen? They're going to feel really good, and then the actual spending is going to come back. And we can already see the spending with this inflation relief bill and all this other crap that Biden and Congress and our trusted elected officials are putting into place.
Yeah.
You know, so all of this stuff is moving forward to somehow take crypto in, but it's still taking the power away from people here. So the narrative of what's going to happen with the money is crypto is unfortunately going to follow this. And I think this is why we're going to see some sideways action. The positive things that we have right now is we've reclaimed the 200 simple moving average, which, you know, of all of Bitcoin's history, we have stayed above this usually for at least a week or two. This is the longest we've been under it. And now we are potentially going to actually claim this and hold it, but we've got lots of other resistances above that can make this difficult. So if we look at that against things like Ethereum and all the alts are actually lining up for a really good rally, and all of them are doing this at the exact same time that Bitcoin and the dollar could be having some issues. So I said, I see there's like two things that could happen here. We're about to see a lot more pain and the alts are going to follow it, or we're going to see the small drop with the alts as they follow and then get the explosive rally, which hopefully would bring more money in. The problem is we don't have the new money in. When we look at overall Bitcoin, all of this volume here, this is just us. This is us, guys. This is us DCAing. This is us convincing each other to buy another coin that we didn't have enough of. This is all us, right? We need new people. We need retail to come in here. That influx isn't going to happen until retail can pay their bills, get to work, potentially, you know, get their own housing, right? Because right now the housing's going up so high, nobody's going to be able to own. Only people are going to be able to rent. So, you know, with the Fed doing all of this stuff, I hope that like a rally from, say, our altcoins from, say, Ethereum to XRP, which, you know, are in my opinions exact really good buy zones for a rally here in the future. The question is, how far down will Bitcoin and all the other stuff kind of, you know, drag us back down? So it's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't know if you have anything different.
Yeah, I have a question, because, you know, even what you're talking about Ethereum, because I do think the merge is going to bring a lot of good stuff to the Ethereum space. I think that longevity wise, I don't, you know, people are asking, is Ethereum going to flip Bitcoin? You know, we've said in the past, say Ethereum probably should be more concerned about not being flipped itself as an altcoin. I don't think it's going to. I think Ethereum will remain king of altcoins. However, something I've talked about, and I want to hear your take on it. Go to my screen here real quick, here, Smay, and we'll show my chart, and then I want to get this question for Harry to answer. So when we came back down, we hit this low, this bear market low back in June, 18th of June. Since that time, Ethereum has rallied over 130% since that bottom, right? A lot of that's coming, you know, even though we rallied up for here and then kind of moved sideways, a lot of this coming after the merge was announced, that date was given to us. In the same time zone, let's just look at Cardano, because that's another one that I think a lot of people are really excited about. I think people think the potential of that is really good. Its bottom came all the way back in May, but let's just go to the bottom that it had here in July and look at what it is doing. It is only up about, let's see here, 47%, okay? So yes, we got a lot of hype from Ethereum, and you can go off my screen now, Smay. We got a lot of hype in Ethereum. We got a lot of retail investors getting in. One of the on-chain metrics we've talked about several times that Kelly Kellum showed to us. We all love Kelly. He was talking about how actually we went from being in with Ethereum, potentially the best spot with the least amount of weekends in it, to over a matter of these last 2 months, it has been now probably the most fragile with the most weekends in the space. And, you know, we're seeing an all-time high of wallets, active wallets in Ethereum, which is kind of an indicator on the on-chain metrics that means a lot of new retail investment went in. If that had been a lot of whales or institutions, we would have skyrocketed a lot more than just 130%. But with that massive amount of new wallets being created, the speculation is those are weak-handed retail investors. I believe Ethereum's going to kind of cool off, and I think that it might be a turn, like it might be Cardano's turn. After only rallying about 47%, I think that it could have its own, where it ends up going about 130, maybe even more, because it has its own really good news coming out here with the Vassal hard fork. It looks like everything is on pace. It looks like we should be having an announcement very soon. I think we're making an afternoon video about that today. But I want to hear what you think about that, because while I do agree long-term Ethereum is going to have a very, very good spot in the crypto market, in the altcoin market, Do you think that Ethereum is still on its way up? Like the increases have not ended, or do you agree that Ethereum needs to cool off for just a little bit, get rid of some weak hands, let some institutions and whales get back in the space, and maybe a couple other altcoins end up taking the lead?
I think you're a little bit of both. I think what's going to happen right now is based on the kind of the chart I had, if you could see kind of a little bit of a reverse head and shoulders happening. And the psychology behind that is everybody sells, right? And then everybody agrees, sells more, but okay, that's a little bit too much. So we come back up, and then now we level off. Well, everybody at this point was low, or high, low, and then high again. So now we can shift our body to go higher up. So I think for the next couple of weeks, we're going to see consolidation. So I think that is going to include a little bit of a cool off. So as we get closer to the merge, I think there's going to be another delay. This is Ethereum, right? So I'm just being honest. I don't think it's going to happen on the 17th, but this is what people are thinking is going to happen, not exactly what we're going to do. And our goal is to trade on the better half of that persona of people. So my idea here is ETH will hopefully set the pace. Bitcoin will lose some dominance. It's not going to lose much, but it as far as price action, its dominance will go down, but its price will stay the same. And then hopefully this will set off the rally, because as people get gains in altcoins, they convert it typically to Bitcoin. And on-chain analysis shows that this is usually the route, or at least a higher percentage route of how people capitalize their gains. And then from there, we could see Cardano and these other ones actually capitalize at this point. Cardano, I think, is genius because Hodgkinson has basically his whole rollout as like a giant marketing plan. It sounds stupid, but if you don't have that plan in place at the same time, you're going to lose the speculation and excitement. And he has that speculation and excitement done with every single fork. Every single fork is a milestone. Every single fork is a milestone honoring a mentor of his, right? Yeah. So everything that Hodgkinson's doing is a marketing plan on top of a technical plan that has to be achieved at the same time. And these delays happen when things don't work right. Currently with Ethereum, all of the test networks, except for I believe one, Go Early, is not fully merged. Once it is, which is not at this time based off time, it's based off of actual blocks. So once this said block is mined, we can then see if the full integration is set and good. But I think if ETH works, it could set off a really, really good rally, and we can have a little last minute summer alt season here. Yeah. But if not, we're going to just continue riding sideways. And that's where I think the pain is, because everybody's going to have those little excitement rallies, but they'll always buy a little too late and sell a little too early.
Well, my last question about that, because I love what we're talking about this with Ethereum. And I told you guys this, I'm so excited about the future of this channel and what's going to happen with bringing on people like Harry and others just like him, because I want to learn right along the space, because I've kind of been under a different thought than what Harry's working with. But my question for you, Harry, to maybe answer is, because one of the reasons why I also believe Ethereum might cool off is the announcement that we heard yesterday, and that is that Ethereum, when it launches, a lot of people thought that there was going to be a lot of cool updates to how it worked, gas fees would go down, everything would operate faster, and Ethereum actually came out, like the programmers and the developers came out and said, hey guys, just in case you're wondering, this is not going to lower gas fees. This is not going to make us operate faster. That's stuff that we'll continue to work on down the road. So with that happening, that kind of puts a little bit of a rain on the parade that people thought was going to be this massive launch on September 19th, because Ethereum 2.0 was going to solve all these problems. Now that they're saying that's not going to solve the problems, do you think that factors in as well? Or what do you think? Like, I guess what I'm asking is, you're saying that we don't have the price baked in just yet, that when it finally launches, it'll keep going? Or do you think with that news release that it's not actually going to fundamentally take a step forward other than just changing from proof of work to proof of stake? Do you think that doesn't play any factor at all in what you're saying with Ethereum still going up? Or do you think that could potentially hinder the price continuing to the upside?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. And basically my short answer to that is, if Ethereum delivers, I think it is going to be, very, very good, because even if it doesn't fix the gas fees, right, we have a transition to proof of stake. Well, now we can start working on the next step of actually getting those gas fees to be reduced, right? When we started getting towards the proof of stake, the idea of proof of stake versus proof of work is now we have validators who now stake Ethereum, and their network stake is thus what the mining energy would have been. right? So this is how we can maintain network security. Now, this still doesn't solve the scalability aspect of it, right? So we still have to do a lot more. And then when it comes to sharding and actual horizontal database alignment between different things, it's a whole nother step after that. So the moving towards the proof of stake and actually getting the fees down overall is going to be the next step. But in anybody's mind, it's the next upgrade is speculation. More people are going to come. There's going to be more news about it, right? And this is exactly why I said buy the rumor, sell the news. And that would purely be if right now is the rumor and the news is going to be in roughly a month. So anything accumulated now, I would be planning to take some profit on in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then if not, it's just added to my accumulation here and I'll just continue DCAing in, right? Because in the end, I have a macro perspective where I am still kind of somewhat following just the 4-year model for Bitcoin, because if we think of the halving, we can line up everything the way we have it now. And it shows that our high was actually back in April-ish, not middle of the summer. And then we can see that we are definitely in a good bottom range, but that bottom range lasts for another 80 to 90 days. So, this time here, I think is the most pain, but the best accumulation, because when is the best accumulation? When you're the most cash poor.
Huh.
So
that is really interesting. Well, we're gonna transition the topic here in a second, but I want to let people know here in about 5 to 10 minutes, we're gonna open up. This is new to the channel. The channel name is new. The format's a little new. So the last 20 to 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes is going to be all about interacting with you guys. So if you guys have super chats, we're going to be reading those here in just a couple of minutes. Also start asking some questions in chat and things that you want to hear from Harry. Anything you want to ask him, we'll have 20 minutes to engage with him and you guys. It's going to be great. But we're going to transition into this kind of beef now developing between Vitalik Buterin and Ripple. And I think this is really cool. We didn't plan this. I'm really glad that you're here for this, Harry, because you're a guy who is very, very, very pro Ethereum and XRP. And now we got those two kind of having a little bit of a clash. So I'm going to throw it to Tshroom to kind of set the stage of what the details are. And I want to get your take on what you think is about to happen or what is currently happening.
All right, let me set the stage here. I'll try to make this quick so you guys can dive into it. But Ripple CTO lashes back at Vitalik Buterin for his dig on XRP. So David Schwartz, the chief technical officer of Ripple, didn't take Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin's dig on XRP very kindly. In a discussion that started around the recent $3,000 limit imposed by the Ontario Crypto Exchange on altcoins purchases, barring Ether, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. So Vitalik, essentially, he retweeted something that he tweeted back in 2020, but he said XRP already lost their right to protection when they tried to throw us under the bus as China controlled, in my opinion. And I went to this tweet so that I can show you exactly what was said here. So this was the actual factual background, legal claims, and Vitalik straight up just posted screenshots of what the courts were alleging XRP was doing wrong. So XRP is a fully and this was XRP's defenses, I believe. So XRP is fully functional currency that offers a better alternative to Bitcoin. XRP is widely adopted digital asset based on a open blah, 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 extremely robust, blah, 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 blah. XRP consistently ranks among the top 3 virtual currencies by market cap alongside Bitcoin and Ether, the 2 Chinese-controlled virtual currencies that the SEC has stated are not securities. So that's the big kind of slap in the face that Vitalik did not take too kindly, and he straight up just took a screenshot of it and posted it so that the crypto community could see kind of their, like, how much shade XRP is throwing at not only Ethereum but also Bitcoin. And the other one that he posted, policy reasons counsel against finding XRP to be an investment contract, and innovation in the cryptocurrency industry will be fully ceded to China. The Bitcoin and Ethereum blockchains are highly susceptible to Chinese control, blah, 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 whereas XRPL prevents comparable centralization. And I found this funny. I hadn't seen too many other people talking about this, but by Vitalik, and it is actually his account, posted something in what I would imagine is Chinese, and it said, and the Google translation said, "Why haven't you given us an order? Shall we use our master nodes to fork you guys and print a little Ether?" So Vitalik making a little joke there, and I don't know if he used Google Translate to generate that Chinese, but very impressive. So anyway,
I wouldn't put it past Vitalik to speak Chinese.
Yeah,
that's not something he could do.
It's like John Cena.
Yeah.
But that response, so the response, the response to that retweet from 2020 from Buterin created a storm among XRP followers on Twitter, and the debate was later joined by Ripple CTO David Schwartz himself. This is where it gets a little bit more, this is where the mudslinging starts to really take shape, where Schwartz reiterated, "I don't think it's perfectly fair to analogize miners in proof of work systems to stockholders and companies, just as eBay's stockholders earn from a residual friction between buyers and sellers that eBay does not remove. So do miners in ETH and BTC." So that, it kind of reads rough and it doesn't make a ton of sense. But that's essentially what he said. And just as eBay stockholders want to leave as much friction between buyers and sellers as they can because that's their revenue stream, so do miners in ETH and BTC. That's part of why they have higher fees than XRP. Do you think this debate should be settled by the government or the market? Vitalik. This is David Schwartz tweeting at Vitalik. This quotation wasn't pulled from some attempt by Ripple to get the government to regulate ETH, was it? Question. And then this is further commentary. Ethereum's security status became a hot topic during the ongoing lawsuit proceedings where Ripple has claimed that the SEC has a clear bias against them and it favored Ethereum. In an interview of 2001, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse claimed that the SEC helped Ethereum to overtake XRP as the number 2 crypto. And that's where the kind of story leads off there. So I'm definitely interested to hear, Harry, kind of what your thoughts are as someone who is both a fan of XRP and Ethereum.
Yeah, no, so the actual backing of all this goes back way to when Hinman, he was actually doing just a talk where he said that it was his own personal opinion that, Ethereum wasn't a security, right? Well, through the whole XRP case, this has been going on for over a year, and most people know that I am pro XRP. When you look at the case, the way that the Ripple lawyers are using this against the SEC is they're using the SEC's own words against them. And one of those was how they said that Ethereum wasn't based off of Hinman's personal opinion and his just, general talking. Well, moving into where we are now, Ethereum would technically, and XRP at some point back in the day would have in a point considered a security, right? Because they offered this up, and then until decentralization fully occurs, that's when it would no longer be some sort of ICO security at that point, and it could technically evolve into something that isn't. And that's kind of where I believe our regulation is having the issue, and why we're having trouble figuring out what to do, who's supposed to do it. Is it the SEC with old Gary Gensler, or are we going to move over to the CFTC, or do we need to make a whole new department, right? I don't really care. The government and regulation is just slowing everything down, and we truly want decentralization. So, I really don't like what they were doing. But see, the thing with Vitalik overall versus XRP is a lot of his talking is more, to me, seems just like an immature kid who doesn't like that Ripple is kind of winning one way. And I'm trying to be as unbiased as positive, because he, literally went to Twitter to call XRP a shit coin when, it's been around. And again, when it comes to what David Schwartz was saying, as far as buying and sellers, if OpenSea right now makes its money and revenue through the back end, right? Not just from people minting or doing something. For each sale, they make a certain percentage, right? If that's your business, you want to pull as much revenue as possible. I'm the CTO of Pennyfly, and my goal is to make everything as efficient as possible and to squeeze as much revenue for each of our artists. So what would you do here in this case? If you're Ethereum and you're a proof of work, you have to put money in. You want to get as much money out for what you put in. Through proof of work, that's what's going to happen. The reason why validators and things like XRPL and other stuff aren't as deal is, what's the real motivation for it, right? Because you're not going to make the money through that part of actually collecting the revenue stream. So, and the fact that Ethereum and Bitcoin can technically be mined at a majority in places like China and other countries, this is where XRP and other blockchains wouldn't be able to fit that bill, right? You pick your validators, you get to pick your decentralization when using the XRP ledger. So, at this case, I really just think that Vitalik is just more just being well, like an immature kid. You know, he's a young guy. And right now, I just think XRP is looking like they're going to win the case. And that just doesn't look good for Ethereum, because if XRP wins, there could put Ethereum back up on the chopping block. Just my thoughts on it. I could be completely wrong. So please tell me if you guys think otherwise.
No, that is very interesting. Yeah, we'll have to see how this continues to develop. I saw a lot of interesting things in chat. I don't even know. Like, there was one, someone commented there, like, Vitalik slept on the CEO of Ripple's couch for a year. Is that, maybe you know that one. Do you know that's true, Harry?
That one I believe is true, but I don't know for a fact. It's another thing that I've heard in the woodwork.
Very interesting. Well, guys, I told you guys, we're going to transition into a lot of just interacting with you guys. So we had a couple super chats earlier on. We're going to engage with those. So while we're reading those, though, go ahead and leave some comments in the description, leave some comments in chat, and we're going to be able to answer you guys. And moving forward, just so you guys know, if you guys are able to leave comments down below with questions, with thoughts, we're going to start engaging with comment sections. So anytime you guys comment there, or even if you hit us up on Twitter and comment, we'll be incorporating that stuff into the show for the future. So increase that engagement. Continue to smash the like button. Those of you who are watching right now, 754 of you, more than half of you have not smashed like yet. Go ahead and smash that like button. Leave comments below, and they will make it into future shows. With that being said, though, Smay.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. But before we dive into Super Chats, I'd like to bring you another word from one of our sponsors. And, to kind of match the theme of this sponsor, I feel like it's a little warm in here, so I'm gonna make it a little colder. Ooh. You know what? I'm not gonna do that because it's flickering. Anyways, guys. My bit failed there. But what I was gonna try to tell you is about is Ledger, guys. If you are in the crypto space, you are a crypto investor, there is one thing that every crypto investor has or recommends or needs, and that is a cold wallet to be able to store your crypto private keys. Guys, this is a fundamental, basic thing that everybody who's in DeFi needs, because, guys, you don't want the risk of something like what happened to Voyager or Celsius or all these places where you're storing your crypto to go down or bankrupt or you lose your coins. You want to have full self-custody of your coins, and that's why it is extremely important. You'll hear us talking about cold wallets on the show all the time, and that's why we think it's very valuable. So our favorite, and I think the most intuitive and best company that produces cold wallets is Ledger. We have an affiliate link in the link down below, in the description down below. So please go get yourself a Ledger today. Link down below.
Before you transition there, real quick story. I was talking about this last night on the blockchain over on BitBoy's channel. So there's a story in South Korea. They're testing a new law that if someone has it has to be a certain level, but if someone has a certain amount of USD or amount of fines in parking tickets or any type of driving violation, if they don't pay it back, the police actually are going to have the right to go into and look up to see if you have any cryptocurrency, and they can confiscate your cryptocurrency. It sparked a really good conversation that we had last night. But I mean, ultimately, the surefire way to get rid of that and make sure that would never, let's say something like that came to the United States. Well, if you have a cold wallet, there's nothing they can do with a cold wallet. It's only if you leave your money on exchanges they can violate it. So all the more reason, I think Ledger sales are going up today on the brink of that news with that actually coming out. And if you guys don't have a cold wallet already, I cannot. As good as the pitch was, Smay, as I loved it, it's really serious that you actually do go and get a cold wallet.
It actually is very serious. I have a cold wallet. Tim has a cold wallet. Yeah. Tshroom has a cold wallet. We all have cold wallets because like I said, Vet has a cold wallet. I think it is a fundamental principle of DeFi. But what I would love to do now is read some super chats. So I have my laptop, my handy dandy laptop here with a little fishing sticker on it. All right, so we only have 3. But this is why it's important. While I'm reading these super chats, you guys got to put some comments in the chat so we can continue this going. Keep the good times rolling. So we have from Crit Cats. He says, "Need some more cowboy Smay. # self custody." Well, you know what a cowboy really loves: self custody. Anyways, next we have from Cryptex. Shout out to Tshroom doing a great job on Market Pulse. Tshroom, how do you feel?
Come on, Tshroom.
I feel like that's a very accurate review. And I appreciate that.
Very nice, very nice. And then next we have from Unforgettable Name, and I'm telling you what, I did not forget that name, and I will not forget that name.
Never.
We have Frankie Candles / TA Tim collab tonight, 3:45 EST. Tim, what do you have to say about that?
First of all, I don't think it's 3:45 EST. I think it's 5. That probably was a typo. I think it's 5:45 Eastern Standard Time. But yes, I saw Frankie in chat earlier, and I mentioned him, but we were in the middle of Market Pulse. I didn't want to interrupt Tshroom and give him a shout out. But shout out to Frankie Candles. If you guys don't follow him, subscribe to him, watch him. You need to change that. Go do it. And I'm going to be on tonight, 5:45 Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss that one.
What is it that they say? The old bing bong?
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. All right, yeah. And Frankie's gonna be on the show again here too. I love Frankie. I was talking with people over in Club DeFi. We have office hours where you guys can come in, ask me questions. I answer them live about the charts, about trading, about what's happening in the news, and we were talking about that. Just so you guys know about Frankie. Not every influencer is like this, but you guys are going to see on this channel, like people like Harry, people like Frankie, people who are going to get on with us all the time. I've actually got to interact with them off camera. Not every influencer is the same person off camera that they are on camera. And, sometimes, it is YouTube. Sometimes you put on a persona. It is what it is. Frankie and Harry and others like them that we're going to be putting on the show all the time, they are the people that they are exactly who they are off camera, that they are on camera. I love that. I love that genuine, honest, just response to everything. They're not, what you see is what you got. They're not putting on some show for you. They're actually just trying to help. So I saw a couple of things. We had some super chats coming here. I did want to talk about first of all, Harry, you've been doing a great job with the language. There was one slip up, and it had to do with coins, what we might call poop coins. But other than that, doing a great job. I saw in chat people say they have, whenever they watch you, they have a drinking game that when the cuss words come out, you take a sip.
Very early drinking game.
Yeah, it is weird. Coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe they're doing shots of coffee.
It's espresso, and then you get really wired.
We got fans like jumping, not today, but the last time you were on, jumping, running circles, doing the haka in their living room.
What?
From the shots of coffee.
Why the haka though? Anyways, let's dive right into these new super chats, because I don't know why you brought in Maori traditional dances, but here we have.
Because it's awesome.
It is awesome. There was a time in my life where I wanted to be Maori because of that dance. But anyways, we have here thoughts on Ergo. Would love a deep dive. Seems like the best mining alternative to ETH. Low power, low heat, no VC money, no gas fees, working alongside ADA, CKB, and now Flux, EX, Chainlink, ADA devs. I don't know. That sounded kind of like a shill to me.
That's not something I know. Do you know anything about Ergo? I mean, I've definitely heard of Ergo, but Harry, do you know anything about Ergo?
Not much besides just a few basic things.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, you guys just got a free sales pitch from Sean Haley, so shout out to him. Next we have, I don't know who this guy is. CryptoVet donated. Thanks everyone. Be sure to hug someone and be kind.
I like it. Sounds like a cool guy.
Very cool guy. What? Where?
Oh, what a warm and touching moment.
I had no idea what was happening right there. I got scared for a second. All I knew is Smay was running at me.
Don't let that be the last
Yeah,
hug.
that is a scary sight, I must say. A big old Smay running at you.
Yeah, so CI just said hashtag Smay has to hold laptop now that he's standing. Yeah, what happened to your little laptop? I guess when you were lower, you had the little stand thing.
Yeah.
It's a side effect of the standing.
I think, Smay, we're going to have to get you a new desk.
Maybe.
Well, I'll work on that.
No, you could find something that, anyway. Well,
I think preferably I'd want something that's like a gray wood grain with a big L shape.
I was going to say you could find a mount that would mount to the table, and you could put the laptop on them.
Well, see, I don't think that's going to be a problem in the future. Wink, wink.
Oh, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say no more, say no more.
Let's see. Are there any questions you guys saw that were for Harry? I want to make sure we get Harry to answer anything that these people want him to answer. Oh.
I have a question for Harry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Harry, why are you such a cool guy and have such a cool piece of artwork on your mantle? There's a two-part question.
The artwork is actually a friend of mine's who moved and never came to pick it up, and he lives down the road and still hasn't picked it up, so I just left it there. And then for the person last time who said I had a small TV, it's not that small.
I actually was thinking that's a pretty small TV.
Somebody told me it was small. I was like, you jerk.
It's small for the distance that the couch is from it. That's what
it does the job.
Yeah,
though.
My house is so big. That's why the TV looks small.
Do you game on it, or do you just watch like highlights?
Well, do you not see the switch? Do you not see the switch in the background? That is
Oh
a
yeah.
hint
Well, my
towards
wife
gaming.
kicks my ass at Mario Kart.
Oh,
Gotcha.
take a
it's
drink.
There it
curse
is.
words.
Take a
There
drink.
There it is.
Oh.
That was a leading question. I was gonna get him there.
That is going to be
Yes,
good though. Now, Harry, from whenever you come on, I now am going to be, I ran out of my coffee, but I'm going to join the game with the fans. Fun fact about Harry. Well, again, because I'm looking for questions for Harry and I'm not seeing any. Fun fact about Harry that I think the majority of you do not know. I know Matt C knows this, but did you guys know that Harry played college football for Texas A&M?
Whoa.
Wow.
He played linebacker for Texas A&M. Harry, what do you have to say? Is that
It wasn't
true?
that good, and Von Miller started, so
Yeah.
that's the reason I was in the background.
This dude
But
backs
yes, I
up
did.
Von Miller.
Hey, that's still better
I
than
hear
I
he's still
I
pretty
did.
good.
Von's okay. He's he gets the job done.
Isn't he on the Rams now? I feel like every
Yeah, just won the Super
every
Bowl, yeah.
star is on the Rams now.
He is now, yeah, that's 2 for him, right? 2 Super Bowls for Von.
Not sure.
No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he won one. He won one with Peyton over in Denver, and then he won one last year over in L.A. with old what's his face?
We got some more questions?
Can't remember his name. That's what I'm looking up.
Yeah.
Jay Rogers said, "What string? Second string, right? You were second string." to
Yeah,
Von
I
Miller?
was second string.
Yeah, that.
So
So you got playing time, right? Because Von can't take every.
yeah,
snap.
I played one game against SFA, and I had 5 plays, and I had 3 tackles, and one
Come
of those
on.
was a joint sack.
Look up Harry on statistics on Texas A&M. We have a good question here, and this one I think you'll be very good at answering. Is it a good time to be DCing into XRP, or should I wait? That's from One Voice 92.
Again, personally, I think so. I actually shifted most of my DCAing right now into Bitcoin, XRP, Cardano, and Ethereum. And
Yeah.
my plan mostly is to do some flips with the ETH and Cardano, and the XRP and Bitcoin are just my hodl bags. And I could change that here in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It just really just depends on what goes on here, So in my case, my trading strategy is worst case scenario, everything goes up bad, right? Well, I'll continue to DCA. I, will average my position lower. If it continues to go up, I will take a little bit of profits here and there because, like I said, I think this is going to be a pain time. So if you're, like Jesse Olson, who we have on Crypto Answered a lot for, his trades constantly, and he's very good. I would say, now is going to be a very, very good time where I would probably use one of my RSI strategies, momentum, just because right now it's going to be pure emotion and people are going to be just trading willy-nilly and selling when they shouldn't. So
Yeah.
now's could be a really good time to make money, but since I do have a lot of other stuff going on with some of our other projects, that's kind of how I'm going to do the trading now to kind of capitalize on like a little swing trading.
Yeah, good. That's good advice. I saw a comment where I just lost it.
Speaking of Crypto Answered, that's tonight, isn't it?
Could answer with Kelly, yeah.
Yeah.
No, not tonight. He's actually, I believe,
He's in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, yeah. So he's in Atlanta right now. We were skipping this week, so I was trying to do a couple charts, which is the only reason you see me with 20 charts actually done, trying to help Kelly out, give him some things to think about, and counter on my ideas. But
Kelly loves his
yeah,
charts.
And I
it'll be
love
next
my
week.
Kelly.
We'll start up again.
There's a question for Harry here from G Money. Harry, what's going on with your company's projects? What are you excited about, and with all things Pennywise?
Pennywise. So right now, my favorite project is Bit Buddies, which I can drop my link tree in the chat if anybody's interested in that. Right now, we're doing giveaways with our influencers. So one of them is MD Motivator. I'm not sure if anybody watches him on Twitter or TikTok, and then the other one is Morgan Vera and her boyfriend. They're also on TikTok. But overall, they have, let me copy this link. They are starting the giveaways in our new Discord, which is called Bit Buddies. So feel free to enter into those giveaways as you guys would like. I think all you have to do is join the Discord and react. And we're giving away a MacBook right now. We gave away $500 last week, and we will continue to do more giveaways up to a Tesla. And all of this is part of a large influence. So me being the CTO at Pennyfly, one of our big partnerships was with OneFluent, an influencer agency out of Canada. So we have over 200 influencers in our docket now. And we basically wanted to figure out which ones would be interested in learning about blockchain and also would be interested in, giving back, because I think part of the gap on getting new retail money into our space is there's still this stigma that crypto is bad. It's for drugs only, because I do crypto, I'm literally laundering money left and right. My account, no joke, my account gets flagged once a week for anti-money laundering.
There we
And it's
go.
just because when I move money around, the bank's like, why? You got to document this. I'm like, I do. But, you know, either way, this is how I think we're going to get new people and new eyes, new interests. Is we have to break the hardest obstacle in crypto, and that is using crypto. So that's kind of our goal with BitBuddies. And, you know, we have 30 influencers partnered with it right now. I think the Discord in the last week has gone up to like 4,000 or 5,000 people. So now's the best time to get in if you do want the odds. But there's that project. We have an NFT crypto game called Dash League. And then we have a comic series that we're working on to help get them push forward with Macroverse, and it's really, really cool. So yeah, if you guys like the weird stuff I do on the back end, like I said, I'm trying to do more than just trade. I want to help build Web3 and more. So yeah, that's why I don't have my channel as much. But if you guys really do want me to do my channel back, you know, beg Tim, and I'll come back on every now and then.
Yeah. If you could drop that link tree in the chat, we'll definitely spread that around so people can find you.
Also, as you're the CTO and a good friend of mine, what are the odds that you can bump me up into potentially winning that Tesla?
Ooh,
there's a chance. You just got to ask a lot.
How many times can I enter? It would be what I would.
I guess how many Discord accounts do you want to make? I can figure it out, but
yeah,
it's up to you.
No, last question we're gonna ask here, and this one, Smay, you're gonna like this question.
am I gonna like this question?
I like this question because it's also from Travel Tim. So Travel-sized me asked, how do you buy cryptocurrency on a cold wallet? I tried buying Bitcoin with MoonPay, and my bank denied the transaction. First thing, Tim, Travel-sized Tim, I don't know how you necessarily buy it on the cold wallet, but there is another way that Smay absolutely loves to get his money straight to his cold wallet without having to buy it on exchange. What is that way?
That is true. So guys, there's something called hedge, right? So what I need to tell you about here is that my favorite way of getting cryptocurrency on my cold wallet is to just have a percentage of my payroll go straight to the cold wallet, get converted into cryptocurrency. So that's what Hedge is, by the way. Hedge is a payroll conversion solution that literally you put in your routing information, boop, 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 boop. You don't even have to worry about your employer. You go in through their portal, and you can select the percent you want of your direct deposit to go to your cold wallet. You can select Bitcoin, Ethereum, several other cryptocurrency. I think Litecoin's another one that you can do. And you just have it sent directly to your cold wallet, and you don't even have to worry about getting on exchanges and stuff. So if that's something that you're having issues with, is finding a good exchange to start buying and transferring and all that stuff, definitely check out Hedge, link in the description. That'll be a good way to just set and forget, get DCA into crypto, the crypto that you want, and you can go in and change that periodically depending on what, you know, how much percentage you want to devote to it. So that's all I have to say about that, Tim. But yeah,
well,
it's a good product.
Wasn't even the partner of the day, but good question, and that's how we get our money straight into our cold wallets without having to go through those exchanges. Well, guys, this was a fun show. Thank you so much, Harry. It was an honor to have you on here, and you're absolutely going to be back on here very, very soon. You are one of our absolute favorites, and we're going to continue to bring on our favorites. Like I said, Harry, he's one of the good ones. He's one of the guys that what you see is actually who he is. I've gotten to hang out with Harry now. When we went to Texas, got to hang out with him a good amount. He doesn't change. He's not different. So make sure you go support him and his team. Keep an eye out for all the stuff he's working on. I'm very excited about what he's working on and what his team's doing. With that being said, though, guys, again, the announcements tonight. Tonight, I will be on Frankie Candles. I also will be hosting over on Cointelegraph's YouTube channel a Market Talks with Crypto Burb, so you don't want to miss that at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then again, on Frankie Candles' channel over at 5:45 Eastern Standard Time. That is all we have for you guys today, but have a great day. And as CryptoVet said, go give somebody a hug. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.